Okay, Anthony. So, talk to me a little bit about when you were an office assistant back from 2019 to 2021. What did you do there on a day-to-day basis with that legal office?
So it was a very part-time position.
Okay.
Basically, my job was they were still a paper firm. So I would open and close files, get everything set up for the paralegal. I would interview potential new clients, ask them basically what their situation was. That firm dealt primarily with family law and criminal law matters, but they had a small little personal injury practice. Just gather as much information about the client that I could pass on to the paralegal and attorney, and then set the paralegal and the attorney up for the client. And then
Okay.
it was typing, taking the paralegal would have a motion that she would need drafted. She would what do you call it, record it, and I would type it. So transcription work, ordering transcripts from the court reporters and organizing that into the filing. A lot of filing. It was a lot of filing, and it was still
Okay.
a paper.
Okay. And then, of course, moving into the position you're in now, it looks like you may have taken some of those skills from your previous role and moved them, of course, into the role. Again, it's with the law office, but it looks like you've kind of taken on that role of a legal assistant, maybe getting your hands a little bit deeper into understanding the process. So, talk to me about that a little bit. What's different in this current role that you're in?
It's a lot more involved, and there's a lot more responsibility. I started just as when I started, we had two paralegals. We are now down to one paralegal. And as I mentioned during COVID, when we were locked down, I got my paralegal certificate. In that school, in that class, they said if you want to do criminal law, you go to the prosecutor's office or the public defender. If you want to get into civil, you start with the insurance companies. So basically, we represent Citizens Property Insurance Company, and it's 200. Right now, we have a caseload of 245 cases.
Oh,
I'm responsible for scheduling all of the events that might come up from that. So depositions, hearings, when counsels want to talk, bring them together. My role grew. I started writing motions. Obviously, no civil attorney really ever wants to go to court. So it's like you filed a motion. It becomes a matter of putting it on the calendar to, they like to use the word posture,
mhm.
but time goes on, you try to smooth it out. Here's an agreed order, get it off the calendar, you
Sure.
know. So I do write, I've grown basically into a paralegal. They want to give me the paralegal spot. I do not like property insurance.
Okay.
I do not like our client. I find our client to be procedurally odd. For example, they have this thing where they file summary judgments before even getting discovery done. That to me is odd.
Okay.
See, I go by the civil procedures. That's what's
Okay.
prescribed by the legislature. So I have grown up a lot there, though. And um, it has grown me as a person.
Okay.
But the things that I enjoy still are organize, keeping the files together, keeping the attorneys calm. Those are still the things that I enjoy the most about my job.
Okay.
A lot of
Awesome.
emails, though. It's a
Lots of
lot of,
emails.
because everything, unlike Compton, everything here is computer based.
Yes.
So, and the insurance companies want everything, everything in writing. So all of my communication is reading and writing emails and then motion practice.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Let's see here. So, going into your next role, what is important to you? What are you looking for?
At the moment, I can't tell you what I'm looking for specifically,
Okay.
but I can tell you what's important to me.
Okay.
As I mentioned, I need a place where we go by the procedures of the land.
Okay.
Okay. I've learned in my current position there's two types of law firms. There are firms that just want to bill, they're billing mills, and we
Hmm.
never get anywhere. And then there are firms that bill and do work to get some. So from complaint to trial, and if there's an appeal to an appeal, but litigation is basically from complaint to trial. So if I do a motion, I want that motion to get me to the next dot.
Okay.
And I don't want to schedule depositions until we have the written discovery done first.
Okay.
Now, obviously, there's that argument of, well, we're here to serve the client, and this is what the client wants, and the client gets what the client wants, and we live our life in point one, point two increments. But I feel like we as paralegals and attorneys, number one, the attorneys have a duty to teach the client the law and uphold the law. Okay, so if the law says that we do it this way, this is the way we do it. This is the way we handle our practice. I'm not going to begrudge anybody for getting their money the way they want, but this is what I'm looking for, because where there is no order, there is chaos. And where there is chaos, I become chaotic. And
Okay.
then when I become chaotic, things get toxic. So I've built the foundations of my life, Miss Dunn, on three things: order, regimen, and discipline. And that I'm looking to integrate myself into an environment of that.
Okay.
I'm also not oblivious to know that things happen in real time.
Sure.
People get sick. This happens. As long as we're abiding by the procedures and statutes of the jurisdiction that we practice in, that's the
Hmm.
main thing I'm looking for.
Okay.
I can tell you also what I'm not looking for
Sure.
is a large firm where there's a lot of office politics. There's
Okay.
a lot of infighting. There's a lot of backbiting. I'm there to do a job.
Sure.
I'm not there to play politics. If I wanted to be a politician, I would move to Tallahassee, and I'm sure I would have, a role in the Florida State House.
It's not what you're
I'm
looking
a,
for.
that's not what I'm looking for. It gets too dirty.
Okay.
Um, I would prefer a more one-on-one relationship with the attorney.
Okay.
What I have here, because of the amount of property insurance
Hmm.
litigation, is I'm scheduling for four attorneys, two partners, two associates.
Okay.
And the two partners that I work with are polar opposites. One wants to start a motion war with everything. One just wants to get it over with. I'm more partial to the one that just wants to get it over with. Um, I find that when you have less people, the work is more succinct.
Hmm.
And, you know, we as paralegals and assistants are the hands and feet of our attorney, right? So we're the ones that go out there on their behalf. So I want to know what my attorney wants and be able to produce that to that attorney's satisfaction. And when you
Okay.
have too many people, that too breeds chaos. You understand?
I agree. I agree. Okay. Well, good. I mean, that gives me definitely a good basis and idea of your personality and what you're looking for. So that's great. I'm glad you were able to provide all of that information for me so that we can, of course, make sure that we'll make the right fit for everybody involved. I will go ahead and stop this recording and then we're going to chat a little bit further after. Okay.
Sounds good.
Perfect.